Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. Today I want to talk to you about the explosion of new homes that we're starting to see in many areas of the country. Unfortunately, we're also seeing an explosion of mold and moisture in these new homes. A lot of it has to do with our building practices. So if you are thinking about building a new home or in the process of building a new home, I want to give you some tips on how to control the moisture in the home and hopefully prevent mold. Stay tuned. If you're new to Crawl Space Ninja, we talk about everything related to crawl space encapsulation, indoor air quality, and humidity control. We hope you'll subscribe to our channel. Make sure you ring that notifications bell. Check out our DIY store and our franchise opportunity. Have you ever heard the builder say we're doing the dry-in process? Just so you know, dry-in, the term dry-in does not mean that they're going to dry the house. The dry-in means that they've got the house sealed from the elements outside. That's the part whenever they put the windows in, they put that crawl space door on, all the doors are in, all that sort of stuff. So that's what the term dry-in means. What I want to teach you is how to actually dry the house. Once the dry-in process is done and you have power to the house, I encourage you to put in some dehumidification. Now, if you are in a really cold climate, this is going to be a little bit more difficult if your home doesn't have heat, because the dehumidifiers that I'm going to recommend you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot or your local rental place, they are called LGR, low grain refrigerant dehus. Now, the problem with these dehumidifiers are the same ones that the water damage restoration companies use. They a lot of times only operate efficiently above 70 degrees. Typically, the hotter it is, the better they work. So normally 80 to 90 degrees is their sweet spot of how much moisture they can pull out of the house. So if you're in a really cold environment and the home is cold, don't bother putting the LGR dehus in, because they're not really going to be that effective. You're going to need a desiccant or standard dehumidifier if you're in a really cold environment or if your home is being built in the wintertime. Okay, so like the April Air would be considered a standard dehumidifier. The only problem with a standard dehumidifier is a lot of times it's a lot slower than some of these, commercially grade like the LGRs or the desiccants. So if you've got the time, the April Air will certainly dry out the house if you place it in the right spots, like in the crawl space typically. For example, once the dry-in is done and the house is sealed up and you have power, if you'll put that April Air dehumidifier in that crawl space, there's a good chance that it might dry the entire home. But depending on how big the house is, you may need several April Air or several desiccant dehumidifiers in order to dry in the house, or in order to dry the house. Remember, dry in is just to keeping it free of the elements. We want to actually dry the house. Now, while you're doing this drying process, you want to use meters to check moisture levels of the wood, especially if you're still seeing the studs and the drywall's not up yet. That's the time that you want to use these dehumidifiers to dry that house out. And I'm telling you, it's going to save you a lot of problems in the future. We have seen many homes, especially in the crawl space, where before the house is even built, there's mold all over the floor joists and everything else. So I encourage you, if you're building a house, make sure you get power in there as quickly as possible, get the electrical set up, do the dry-in process so the windows and doors and everything's up, and then put a dehumidifier in that house as quickly as possible, even if it has to run while the house is being built. That is a great way to keep your home from having any kind of moisture issues, which could lead to mold issues in the future. So hopefully that helps you all out that's building a house. I'm Michael Church with Crawl Space Ninja. We hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.